Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, Terence Bud Crawford, let's talk about him because he's fighting this weekend. And I'll be honest with you guys, look, I don't say this from a place of anger or to slight the guy because, truthfully speaking, Terence Crawford is probably one of my favorite fighters in boxing. Um, Terence Crawford is fighting this weekend against Kavaluskas. And listen, I can't really speak for right now because I'm not in America right now, but I was in America about a week ago. So I can speak from that time and previous. Um, Terence Crawford is fighting December the 14th, and nobody seems to care. Nobody seems to care outside the hardcore boxing fans. And I think that's a crying shame because Terence Crawford, in the eyes of most people, is the most skilled American fighter out. I don't think he is. I think Demetrius Andrade is the most skilled American fighter out, but a lot of people think that Terence Crawford is the most skilled American fighter out, and rightfully so. This is a guy that has scaled 3 weight classes. He's been a world champion at 135. He's been an undisputed champion at 140, and he's now a world champion at 147. And there's been years of his career where he'll fight 3 times in a year, and he won't even lose a round. I mean, this is the kind of dominance that Terence Crawford has displayed in the boxing ring. You know, displaying this dominance in the orthodox stance, in the southpaw stance, at close range, at long range, at mid range. This is the complete arsenal of Terence Bud Crawford. And unfortunately for him, he hasn't been able to get the big fights in his career. And it's not looking really too bright for him because being that he's with Top Rank, PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, Al Heyman and all their fighters over there, as far as the welterweights go, they seem to have formed a league and been on a unified front to freeze this guy out and not let this guy fight any other fighters. So now with Crawford being 31, 32 years old, the time is ticking for him to get the big fights because you know, we don't want to see this guy get aged out, but that looks like that's what's effectively happening with Terence Crawford. So yeah, he's fighting Kavaluskas. He's fighting Kavaluskas this weekend, and nobody really seems to be talking about it. Nobody seems to care about it, and it's a damn shame. And this guy needs a big fight, and he needs it soon because, you know, this year he fought past his prime Amir Khan, and now he's fighting a Kavaluskas that went life and death and got a draw at Ray Robinson. So, you know, it really hasn't been the most eventful year in the career of Terence Crawford, but sometimes, you know, they say it's the calm before the storm. Maybe good things on the rise with Terence Crawford. But yeah, he's fighting December the 14th against Kavaluskas. He's a massive favorite, and rightfully so. You know, Crawford is promoted by BOWE, and you know, it's a known fact that with Terence Crawford, his contract with Bob Arum is running out very soon. I believe it's running out next year. So a lot of people are speculating if Terence Crawford is going to jump from Top Rank to PBC, and some people believe that he should jump from Top Rank to PBC. Now I'll be honest with you, I don't think Terence Crawford should leave Top Rank to go to PBC, and here's why I don't think he should do that. Because Al Heyman and PBC, they already have the guys that they favor, that they have favoritism towards. So they have favoritism towards Errol Spence. They have favoritism towards Keith Thurman. I know Al Heyman loves Danny Garcia. You know, Danny Garcia is getting a ridiculous cherry pick his next fight against Ivan Redkach. But we'll get to that later. This guy Terence Crawford, if he jumped to PBC, all he's going to do is play first, second, third, and fourth fiddle to those guys because those are the guys that have been with Al Heyman, PBC, a lot longer, and if he leaves Bob Arum, he is running the risk of getting completely jerked around by Al Heyman. No doubt about it. Because you got to understand too, Manny Pacquiao gets treated well, has been treated pretty well too by Al Heyman thus far. But you got to understand, Manny Pacquiao has to be treated well by Al Heyman because Manny Pacquiao is the biggest name he has. Manny Pacquiao is a guy that's going to sell little pay-per-views, so he has to treat him good because it makes business sense to do that. You know, so if it makes dollars, it will make sense for Al Heyman. Terence Crawford is not on the commercial level of a Manny Pacquiao. This is a guy in Terence Crawford that when he fought Victor Postal, he sold 50,000 pay-per-views. It was one of the lowest selling pay-per-views of all time, in you know, in recent memory. So he's not going to get that same kind of treatment that Pacquiao is getting. Pacquiao is a worldwide icon. Crawford's just a great fighter who is appreciated by hardcore boxing fans, but hasn't really transcended it, and he probably won't transcend until he gets those big fights. So I think he should stay with Top Rank. He should let Bob Arum try to work things out and get the big fights with Al Heyman, because, you know, this is a guy in Bob Arum who has been a boxing promoter for 53 years, so he knows a thing or two about making these kind of things happen. And if there's one guy that can get it done, it's Bob Arum. Terence Crawford has also expressed his willingness to fight these PBC guys. Like, he said that he still wants to be the undisputed welterweight champion of the world, and he believes that he'll be the first to be undisputed in 2 divisions back to back. I just want to leave a mark on the sport of boxing so people can talk about me like they talk about the other great champions before me. That's my goal before I retire. Bob is willing to make any fight happen. At the end of the day, it's not up to Bob, it's up to me. The fighters are the ones who that fight. And without us, there's no promotion. So if a fighter really wants a fight to happen, he can make it happen. You can tell them, listen, this is the fight I want. I'm not fighting until I get that fight. It's simple. At the end of the day, they work for us. If we don't fight, nobody's going to get paid. So they have to make the fights that the fighters want. And he also said that I'm willing to fight those guys, but it's not up to me to decide if I'm going to fight them or not going to fight them. I'm open to fighting all those guys. I've been saying that from day one. Nothing has changed. I'm the best fighter in the division, and I'm always willing to prove it. So he's willing to prove it. His track record and what he's accomplished in boxing will lead us to believe that he's willing to prove it. So hopefully it happens. I just hope for his sake he doesn't go over to PBC, because he's really running the risk of getting jerked around by Al Heyman. Straight up, he is. But yeah, he's fighting this weekend against Kavaluskas. Kavaluskas is a good fighter, good amateur background. It could be a trap fight for Terence Crawford, but I don't think it will, because Terence Crawford is not. There's many fighters in boxing that fight down to their level of opposition. Terence Crawford is not one of them. I expect a dominant performance from Terence Crawford, because while he's not fighting anybody of note, you don't want to give PBC or any other fighters over there a reason to say, oh, well, I'm not going to fight this guy. He just struggled with Kavaluskas. So I expect Terence Crawford to turn in one of the best performances of the year. Anything short of that would actually be a massive disappointment, especially when you consider Kavaluskas just got a draw with Ray Robinson, and Ray Robinson is not as good as Terence Crawford. So that's what it is. Just wanted to talk about Terence Crawford for a bit. We'll be covering his fight as it gets closer. But yeah, you leave your comments down below. Make sure you take the time to subscribe. I'm in England right now, so if you want to get up with me, I'm in England. We can do a video together. Just contact me on Facebook or Instagram. And like I say in every single video, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just giving Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.